Hello, and welcome to the show. What's it called? Have you ever seen a polar bear IRL? I'm your host, Hugh, and let's get started. Screw it. To start off, let's do a news. So this isn't like too crazy of a news story. This isn't like world news like last episode. This is just something I found very interesting because of the absurdity of it. So R. Kelly, famous bad person, R. Kelly, is in prison. He's in prison. Fuck yes. Thank God. His music was good. I'm going to say that. But he's a very bad person. So don't listen to his music, no matter how good it is. But some weird news came out of prison regarding R. Kelly, and that news came in the form of a comic book made by his cellmate. His cellmate made a comic book about him and R. Kelly just existing in prison. So far, I think only one has been released. And in this comic, which I have read, R. Kelly is trying to convince this man who he is, and this guy apparently never heard of him. He's like, I'm R. Kelly. I'm like one of the greatest R&B singers of all time. And the guy's like, well, do you know who Dying Fetus is or Megadeth? Like, I can name a bunch of bands that you probably don't know either. And R. Kelly goes, fair enough. Hey, fair enough. And then they do yoga together and aerobics and become super buff. That is the plot of the whole comic. It's like 10 or 15 panels long, and it starts with him trying to convince him who he is and that he's famous. The next one, they find a magazine or like a pamphlet about yoga, and they do yoga. And there's a notable panel in which they're doing downward dog, and R. Kelly says, I feel very vulnerable right now. Weird coming from somebody who put a lot of people in very vulnerable positions and seemed to have no remorse for it. But that's just me. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you're watching the video, I'm going to be throwing up pictures of the panels and stuff. They're very low quality, so they're very hard to read. You have to like really try and squint your eyes and like you gotta put on your reading glasses if you need them, of course. Yeah, so they're up on the screen. If not, go check that out. Just type it actually was pretty hard to find. I had to type in comic book R. Kelly because the first time I typed in R. Kelly comic book and nothing came up. There was one link to an article where the pictures were so blurry and low quality that I couldn't read it. And then I had to, I don't know why Google's weird like that. In this instance, if you type in comic book R. Kelly, you find a million articles. If you type in R. Kelly comic book, you only find one article. So do that. Check it out. You can see R. Kelly getting buff after. It's crazy because it says 2 days later, and then they're like 3 times the size, which I've been doing yoga for years. I look the same as I did when I started. But yeah, that's the news for today. I have more news-y type stories. Like the next thing I want to talk about, it's the monetization of our lives as we know it. It seems like every service that was ever free on the internet is now coming out with paid models, now coming out with subscription services. If you do not have close to like 5 different subscription services, you have the patience of the Buddha. Like, I don't have the patience I was a person that was all for pirating. I still am. Like I said last episode, steal as much as you can if you can. But it's just like a lot more work, and streaming services do make it a lot easier to, watch shit. You don't have to wait for a torrent to download. You just click it and it just starts playing. But like, it's getting a little ridiculous at this point. So the thing that I want to talk about, the biggest example of this I saw recently that I think is just stupid, is Twitter. Specifically Twitter Blue. Now, Twitter Blue is a subscription-based service. It's $3 a month, $2.99 if you want to be exact. In the States, at least. I don't know how much it is in other countries with their made-up currency. That's a joke. All currency is made up. But Twitter Blue allows you to edit tweets, which is a feature that people have been wanting since Twitter started, basically. And that's really the only other thing I found that was useful. Everything else, it's like you have more, I think you get more character limit, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The only thing that stood out to me when I read it, because if you go to like if you go to Twitter, there's now an icon on the side that says Twitter Blue. And I clicked on it being like, what is that? That's weird. And yeah, so you can edit your tweets now. And of course, this is not interesting or newsworthy to anybody who does not exist in the Twitterverse like I do. I'm trying to distance myself from Twitter, even though it's my most popular and most used social media. Social media has kind of just become so bad. It's so bad. In other news, Meta, another, like in the same realm, social media, Meta, Facebook, the company that was formerly Facebook, is now called Meta, and now Facebook and Instagram exist under the metaverse. And the metaverse seeks to be like a virtual reality world. If you've ever watched Ready Player One, Mark Zuck is literally just trying to do that, which the fucking whole point of that book and that movie is that it was a bad idea for humanity to do that, and that like people that lived in virtual reality lived worse lives than they did outside of reality. It's really stupid how we have unbelievable amounts of dystopian like fiction and dystopian books, movies, radio plays even, and every billionaire is just like, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. So Mark Zuckerberg is now making a virtual reality world, which has kind of existed. I mean, if you've ever used VR chat is basically that. It's going to have the Meta logo on it. So if you open up Instagram or Facebook, you will see you'll have a logo that says Meta on it. That's really the only thing that's changed with the name change, I guess. So that's stupid. Social media is a curse at this point. We should have just stayed with MySpace. MySpace should have been the be all end all. And I know it was bad. I know MySpace was not good either, but at least it was 100% free and there were no targeted advertisements. I'm sure if it continued to exist into the modern day, well, it still exists, but I'm sure if it continued to exist and be popular in the modern day, it would also have targeted ads and all that stuff. I talked about targeted ads last time. They're bad. I don't think I'm allowed on blackpeoplemeet.com TikTok. Stop suggesting it. Actually, funny enough, I still get a lot of dating app ads targeted to me on TikTok. But since I made that last episode of the podcast, I no longer see Christian Mingle and I no longer see Black People Meet. So obviously my phone's listening to me. I'm using my phone to record this. So my phone's listening to me and it's like, all right, fine. We get your argument. You're not a black person. So we'll just give you Bumble and Hinge ads instead. Movie facts with Mew. Let's do a movie facts. So literally I hit record on this thing and I have to hit record on my phone and on my computer because I record the audio separately, obviously. Because otherwise it would sound bad. But I hit record on that and then I was just like, fuck, I didn't have a movie fact at all. And So I had to sit here for a few minutes and think of a movie fact. And I just think it's a very interesting movie fact that, the famous scene in The Matrix, where he bends over backwards and dodges the bullets, but then one hits his leg, that scene. A lot of people think like so here's what I originally thought how they did that scene. I thought they did a Michael Jackson and they put like pegs in his shoes, and so when he leans back he still had like mass. But no, they legitimately had green screen dudes dressed in full green screen suits holding Keanu Reeves like backwards as he fell, and then they just keyed all the green screen people out in post. I'll put up, if you're watching the video, I'll put up pictures of it. It's very weird. The Matrix new movie coming out soon. I'm actually a little excited about it. It's actually another movie fact regarding The Matrix is that people have not seen the real version of The Matrix, because when it was first released on DVD, this is also off the top of my head, so please, if I get anything wrong, do not roast me in the comments, or do I. So whatever, I'm completely apathetic at this point. They actually I don't know if they accidentally, but it was a way that they wrote it to the disc. It caused the world to have like a greenish filter to it, and so people always assumed like, oh, the Matrix is always green and the real world's more blue. But that was actually a mistake, and they just kept it in subsequent releases because it became synonymous. But there are some releases of like Blu-rays or something like that where they took off, or where they corrected it so that the filter is just like, the color tone is like the same across the board. Yeah. That's the movie facts. Keanu Reeves, I can't remember Trinity's actress's name, which is terrible. I should remember her name. She's a lovely actress. And Lawrence Fishburne trained for like 6 months to know karate, and Keanu Reeves can confirmed kick your ass. I guarantee it. He won't do it because he's such a nice guy, but he can. He can. Just next time you act up, just think that Keanu Reeves could be around the corner and ready to kick the shit out of you for being a dickhead to like a girl on a bus or something. He's basically Batman, is what I'm trying to say. Keanu Reeves is IRL Batman. All right. Oh. This is something I just thought about while I was driving home the other day. How come we don't call COVID the coronavirus anymore? I was thinking about that. I was like, why? I haven't heard it referred to as coronavirus in a long time. Everyone just says COVID now. Everyone says COVID or COVID-19. If you're racist, you'll say the Kung flu. But no one refers to it as corona. And I was thinking about it, and I think I figured it out. I think I know why no one refers to it as that. I think it has to do with the beer company Corona. I think it's a psyop by the beer company Corona. I think they've been doing some psychic work out in the metaverse to incept our dreams and make it so that we don't say Corona anymore, because Corona, the beer company, lost a ridiculous amount of money at the beginning of 2020 because of the virus. Stupid people somehow thought that the virus was inside the beer because it had the same name. We live in the worst timeline. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like alcohol in any way, shape, or form. That's not true. I like it too much, which is why I can't drink it. But yeah, I could never in a million years hear about a pandemic going on and correlate it to an alcoholic beverage. Like if I drink this Mexican beer, I'm going to get a virus. So yeah, I think that they have put hundreds of thousands of dollars towards an ad campaign to kind of like change the meaning of Corona back to a beer, basically. Because I legitimately, the only reason I bring this up and I was thinking about it is because I'm self-centered and was listening back to the old episodes of the podcast. I was listening back because I wanted to make sure that I didn't touch upon any subjects I've already touched upon. Also, if you're watching the video, I'm sorry that I keep walking in and out. I have ADHD and it's completely untreated, so I need to move in some way, shape, or form. You also notice I wave my hand around like a magician. I literally just completely blanked. I was gonna say a magician that doesn't know any actual tricks and he just flails his hands around. Fuck me, dude. All right, let's move along. I think Corona, the beer company, has done some psyops. They've hired some psychics to astral project into the metaverse and incept all of our dreams or into our minds so that we no longer correlate it with the virus. Either that or they just have been people have been really here's what I think is that was like obviously a fucking crazy person answer I just gave. Here's what I think could have happened. I think the Corona company could have paid off media companies to exclusively refer to the virus as COVID as COVID. Because at the beginning of the pandemic, years ago at this point, oh my God, they only referred to it as the coronavirus. And now they only refer to it as COVID. So I think they might have filled the pockets of a couple of news anchors or something to make sure that they only say COVID now. And it worked. Everyone just says COVID now. I thought it was weird listening back to my old episodes and hearing myself say coronavirus. But I digress. So the show is called Have You Ever Seen a Polar Bear IRL? But an animal that I had never seen IRL until recently were vultures. I actually saw a couple of vultures on the side of the road the other day, which I didn't even know vultures existed in this climate. It's also cold as hell out. So the fact that they were here is just concerning. There was like a dead squirrel on the side of the road, but there were like 6 or 7 vultures, like full ass vultures on the side of the road. And it stuck in my head because I was driving when this happened. They were in the middle of the road and I was driving to work in the morning and some guy was just stopped in the middle of the road. Like his car was completely stopped. And I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? And I couldn't see in front of him because the car was a little bit bigger, but I was like, oh, maybe a car is stopped in front of him or maybe something's going on. Crackheads crossing the street. Stuff happens when you're driving. Stuff happens. But no, there were just a bunch of vultures on the road, but they weren't eating on the road. The squirrel was on the side of the road that they were eating. There were just so many vultures that this guy didn't know what to do. He was just like, I don't know how to deal with this. They're in the middle of the road. Which the solution is just to keep driving. Vultures are smart enough. Birds in general are smart enough to get out of the way. I'm not talking about like plowing into them going 45, but if you just keep going, like creeping at them, they're going to be like, oh, this guy's trying to pass and just walk away. Which they did. I had to beep at the guy, be like, hey, you can't sit here for 10 minutes and wait for the fucking vultures to eat this squirrel. It's going to take forever. Just move forward a little bit and they'll just fly away. I've had the same thing happen with turkeys. There's turkeys everywhere where I live. Not everywhere, but in the more rural areas that you drive through, you're bound to see a flock of turkeys. I see them all the time. And people will stop for like 10 minutes straight in the road and just wait for the turkeys to cross. Nah, I got places to be. Even as a vegan, again, I have to state this. I'm not driving 40 miles an hour into a turkey. They have no time to react if you do that. I mean, I stop a little bit and then I go like 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, and they get the idea. They're like, oh, this giant fucking, they don't know what cars are. They just see me and perceive me as a giant metal creature. Like, oh, damn, this creature with fucking eyes, because cars kind of have eyes. They're headlights. This giant creature is driving towards me or moving towards me. I need to get out of the way or I'm fucked. So yeah, like, don't be like that guy that was in front of me. If you see birds just sitting in the road, slow down a little bit. Of course, don't be a maniac. But just keep driving. I don't understand what he thought was going to happen. Did he think that if he stopped, the vultures would be polite to him and be like, man, this guy is being real nice to us. We got to get out of his way. It's like, no, these motherfuckers are only preoccupied with one thing and one thing only. Eating the goddamn squirrel that's on the side of the road. That's their only thing they do. It's what gets them off and makes them survive as well. That's a big part of it too. But yeah, it's dumb. Like, we already took over their ecosystem. There wasn't a fucking road there before. Why are you pretending like they live there now? Like, we already ruined the environment over there and just in general. Why are you being so extra about just like waiting for them? It's dumb. It's dumb and I hate it and I'm gay. I gotta tell you about something. So I just started a new job like a week ago. I'm like a week into this job. And the things people say that people are comfortable saying. It's, one second. Let me take a little sip of water. So this is unrelated, but I get Liquid Death ordered to my house once a month. Not sponsored, but I will endorse this product to the end of time because I love Liquid Death. However, I order the regular water once a month. I do like Amazon Subscribe or whatever, the stupid fucking thing. But this month they accidentally just sent me the sparkling water, and I hate sparkling water. However, this shit's actually pretty fucking good. This is just sparkling water. There's no flavor. There's nothing. I've drinking so many sparkling waters and I hate it. It always tastes like TV static. However, I don't know what they're doing at Liquid Death, but they fucking figured it out, my guy. They know how to make sparkling water. So, without further ado. It's so weird. I don't understand it. I hate sparkling water, but when I drink it, it just feels good. When I drink that one specifically, I'm going to call out other brands. Bubbly, not that good. I don't understand why I was going on a completely different rant right now. I don't understand why they advertise sparkling water as having flavor. I've drinking the blueberry bubbly before. My family sometimes buys it. It doesn't taste like blueberry or blackberry. I think it's blackberry. It tastes like fucking fuzzy water. It tastes like TV static. That is what I will always default to. Sparkling water tastes like TV static, except for Liquid Death. Not sponsored, again. But I digress. I just needed a sip of water because I've been screaming for 20 minutes. So I started my new job, and it's absurd what strangers are comfortable with telling you or saying to you and not even thinking about it. So I'm a delivery person. I deliver packages. And so when we're at the warehouse to load up the vans and stuff like that, we have to wait outside for a little bit before we can drive in to like grab our stuff. So I'm sitting out there, and this dude who's the most redheaded person I've seen in a minute. Like, he's pale skinned, he has red hair, and he has a little scraggly chin strap. He has like a little goatee right here, but it's like 20 hairs but it's really long. Like, even longer than my beard right now. And I got something I got something going there. And he walks up to me and he's just like, bro, what's taking them so long in there? Like, what? I'm trying to load up my stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, for real. And then swear to God, he just goes, what are these N words? Soft A. I'll give him the credit for doing the soft A. He says, don't these N words know we got shit to do? He's talking in Ebonics the entire time. So this paints the picture of the person I'm talking to. And I just go, I guess they don't. Like, this is my fucking first conversation with this person. Second sentence he says to me, he just drops an N-word, and I'm supposed to just be like, yeah, dude. So I just go, yeah, man. And he just walks away. Like, cause it's very clear that, one, I didn't want to talk to you in the first place. I don't like people. I like my job. The job I just got, fantastic. I've been a delivery driver before, but this place that I'm delivering for now, specifically, pretty good. But I literally go to work, don't look at anybody, don't talk to anybody, and then I grab my shit and go. I like being alone. That's the part of the job I enjoy, is that I get to just be alone for all the day. I just listen to podcasts. A lot of times it's my own podcast because I'm a narcissist. No, I listen to lots of other podcasts. All much better than this one. You should go listen to them, but I'm not going to tell you which ones that I listen to. But yeah, I like to be alone. I don't want to talk to you, especially when you just start off by saying the N-word. I don't know what white people think. It's not okay. Like, as a white person, you know when another white person is going to drop the N-word, because it happens so often. Oftentimes, this guy, I can tell he was a part of the culture. So, he talked in Ebonics. He probably grew up in, a rougher neighborhood. So I understand what he's not saying it out of malice. He's saying it because he probably grew up in an environment where a lot of people were saying it. I also grew up in an environment where a lot of people were saying it. My brother, in fact, I shared a room with my brother growing up, and he is a black man. So I've been called the N-word many times in both derogatory and in friendly ways. I still don't say it. I'm white. Look. Fucking white you could tell from my face, but I wanted to show my forearm for emphasis. I'm white. You know what that means? You don't say the N-word. It's simple as that. There are so many words in this world. Why do you have to say that one? What in this world possesses you to say that one? I literally can think of so many other words. Like, he could, instead of the N word, he could have said, don't these motherfuckers know where we got shit to do? Don't these people know we got shit to do? Don't these fucking guys or warehouse workers know we got shit to do? I just thought of 4 off the top of my head that didn't require the N-word and still conveyed the same message, just not without any accidental racism. Redheads, I have this problem specifically with redheads, and I'm calling all of y'all out. I have heard a lot of redheads use the N-word, specifically redheads, because a lot of redheads just think they're fucking black for some reason. I know multiple redheads with dreadlocks down to their fucking ass, and I know multiple redheads that have said the N-word in my presence. Now I had to add another one to the list, this random stranger that works at my company. And again, there's like 100 employees at my company. So I work 5 days a week. I saw him that one time last week. Haven't seen him since. He probably just worked, like, you don't see people. But yeah, that's just my PSA. Don't say the N-word if you're white. Don't. There's no excuse. Even if a black dude or a black woman says to your face, you can say it, don't. It's still not okay. There is no such thing as the N-word pass. No matter how cool you are, there's nothing. No one on this planet could bestow upon you that pass. It's not a thing. You just go the rest of your life. There, like I said, so many other words. Pick any other word that is not offensive. No slurs. Just, there's like 20 different slurs and there's like 50 billion words in all these languages. Vaccines. I'm going from the N-words to vaccines. What's up? Just, if you're anti-vax, stop. It's so simple. There's like at this point, millions of people have gotten the vaccine, and there's been like 2 or 3 people that have had maybe negative reactions to it, and it's because they were allergic to something in it or whatever. As long as you're not allergic to anything in the vaccine, just get it. It doesn't matter. There's no microchips in it. It doesn't matter. You're only making things harder for the rest of the world. I see so many people that are like, this is an invasion of privacy because I can't fucking infect my coworkers with COVID. SARS-CoV-19. Oh, God. All right. I might cut that out. I don't even know. Future Matt, maybe cut that out. Watch it in post and see what it sounds like, but you're doing great right now, at least. You're doing all right. You could do better. You need to try a little harder, if I'm being 100% honest. We might be late to fucking therapy because of this shit. Okay. So bringing it back to Facebook, bringing it back to social media. Facebook is the one I use the least. I still have a Facebook. Don't add me on it. I'm not going to add you back unless you're an attractive female or a hot guy. I guess I'll add hot guys too. No hot guys go into my friend requests in Facebook. I don't get a lot of friend requests in general, but I don't use it. That's why. My last post was literally from like March, and it was just a couple of Polaroid pictures I took. Probably one of the ones over there. But yeah, I don't use Facebook. I use Facebook to use Messenger in a way because I have a lot of family members that live all over the fucking country. So I use it to keep in touch with them. And sometimes I look at my Facebook feed to see if, make sure no relatives have died or anything. Just keep up to date with my family. But because of this, I don't update my profile. So people change very much in the span of 1 year or even 6 months. So I got added by a girl recently, and I was just like, that's cool. And she was straight edge and vegan. I was like, oh, that's cool. I wonder why the fuck she added me. I get I'm vegan, but then I looked at my profile and I forgot that literally like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, as soon as I went sober, I wrote that I was straight edge because I assumed straight edge and sober was the same thing. It's not really. It's kind of like similar, but here's what I'm going to say. I'm sober because I'm not cool enough to be straight edge. Straight edge is like this whole culture, and there's like stuff you gotta do. People get X's tattooed on their hands or on their neck. People are really about it. And me, I'm just like, I have a problem, so I can't do drugs. If I didn't have a problem, I don't see anything wrong with doing drugs. I think it's better not to do them now that I'm on the other side of it and almost 2 years sober. But yeah, so I'm like, damn, this girl added me probably because she saw that I was straight edge, and I am like, damn, I fucking lied. So I went to my Facebook and I just put sober instead of straight edge because it's more true. I'm not cool enough to be straight edge. I haven't been to a single hardcore show in my entire life. I would like to. I think it'd be cool to go to a hardcore show, but I think I missed my prime because I'm at the age where even if I went to my first hardcore show, I wouldn't go in the mosh pit. I wouldn't do anything cool. I would just sit in the back like this. Just fucking arms crossed, just chilling because I'm an old fuck. Oh, I'm not old. I feel like you're only as old as you say you are. And I make jokes sometimes about like, oh, I'm almost 30. I'm old. No, I know people who are in their 40s that are fucking younger than me. Not because they're immature, but because they have more, they're more sprightly, they're more spry and youthful. Me, I'd say I'm like, I have the mentality of a 45-year-old with the body of a 25-year-old. That's where I'm at right now. That's my comfortable medium. Oh, my nose is so fucking itchy today. Fuck me. Ladies. Oh. I wonder how much of this mental breakdown I'm going to keep in the fucking final cut. I just realized I do so much walking that I won't even be able to fucking... Oh my God, it's going to be so much work to edit. I bought a film camera off eBay and I'm about to go to war with a man on eBay because I paid like $80 for this film camera and it comes with everything I need to fucking do film photography. It has its own lens. It comes with a flash and it's a Minolta X700, which if you know anything about cameras, that's a pretty good beginner film camera. And I paid for it like 2 weeks ago and the motherfucker still hasn't shipped it yet. And I'm like, why has he not shipped it? I want to take pictures now. I literally have film in my fridge ready to fucking go. But no, it's not shipped yet. It says it's due on the 23rd. And it's like, why? You could have already had it to my house. I'll go pick it up. I think he lives in fucking Chicago. I'll drive there. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm so angry this episode. I don't even know why. I had a pretty good morning. I just played the new fucking Halo game all morning because I woke up at 6 a.m. My sleep schedule is much better now, which is good. It means that when I record this podcast, oh my God, I pray to God you can't pick up the weird noises my body makes. I have weird things with my legs where my legs just crack constantly. And it's happened probably 50 times during this recording, but because of my post editing, it probably won't pick up. Fuck me. Oh, my sleep. I was saying my sleep schedule. Since I started my new job, I started sleeping normally. Being unemployed is... I can't be unemployed. And it makes me upset because I hate capitalism so much. I would love to be unemployed. I think it's because I had no money. Being unemployed is fine if you have unemployment and you get money. I had no unemployment benefits, so I've been literally just losing all my savings for the past 2 months straight. I had enough savings to last until like a week ago, and I still don't get paid for like another 2 weeks. So I've just been fucking struggling. So I haven't been able to sleep because I just don't do anything with most of my day. But ever since I started my new job, my sleep schedule has been fucking great. I slept like 9 hours the other night. 9 fucking hours. I've slept like 5 hours consistently the fucking past 2 months. And I slept 9 hours. Oh my God. Fuck. All right. Let's bring this to a close. If you enjoyed this, my screaming, my yelling, my beautiful face, you can look at more of me on Instagram. My Instagram is Hewmu, same as just this show, HEWMU. I'm going to be moving into a new place in like a week and a half. Damn, it's a fucking week and a half away. Shit, maybe 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks away, actually, doing the math. So I'm going to have a new location. It's going to look probably the same. It's like a similar vibe. But I'm going to have a fireplace there. I'm going to see if I can do one of these episodes by my fireplace. That would be real nice. Have a fire going and shit. But if you want to update on my life, go on my Twitter. That's where I am most active and say the most heinous stuff about what I think of this world. The other day I posted gay porn because I had it commissioned for my friend's birthday party. So my friend's birthday, she's obsessed. Actually, Cats, if you've listened to the previous episodes, Cats was on it. It was her birthday recently, and she loves the game Danganronpa. She brought it up a bunch in the old episodes. So I asked her what her favorite character was and what her least favorite character was, and then I went on Fiverr and commissioned an artist to draw both of them kissing with erection. Fully clothed, mind you. They're not naked, just they're naked. They're fully clothed and they have erections, and it came out so good. I can't show it in the video, obviously, but if you go to my Twitter, you can see it. It's not that graphic. It's just a bulge in each of their pants. But yeah, my Twitter is Veggiemu, VEGGIEMU. And if you enjoyed this, tell your friends about it. Word of mouth is number one way which podcasts spread. And also, like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want, bro. It's your life. It's my life. Okay. Bye.